Hey everybody, it's Michael from Barky Doodle Bakery, and today we're going to make yak cheese. I know, why wouldn't you just buy it in the store? Sounds like a big process. Have you priced it lately? It's like $30 for 3 pieces of yak cheese. So I'm going to show you how to make it at home. All right, so you're going to need a gallon of milk. You're going to need some lemon juice or some lime juice, some good old table salt, and I went ahead and bought a cheesecloth specifically for this, but you can use any sort of cheesecloth or cotton fabric that you have in your house. Other than these simple ingredients, you'll of course need a big old pot and a slotted spoon, probably a strainer, and then maybe a couple plates or something to put on top of the cheese to kind of squeeze out all the moisture later. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our milk and pour it into our pan. We're gonna put that on medium-high heat and stir that continuously until it boils. Once it boils, then we'll add our lime juice and our salt, and it'll start to separate, and we'll pull out the curds and set those off in the cheesecloth. And we'll keep doing that until everything is separated. So let's go ahead and get our milk and pour that in the pan. All right, so I got my pan, got my slotted spoon so that as those curds start developing, we can scoop them out. I got a strainer inside a big bowl with my cheesecloth so that I can immediately scoop those out, and I got my gallon of milk. So let's go ahead and turn this on to medium-high heat. Open up our milk. Let's get started. Just gonna pour that in there. And I am doing a full recipe, so I'm gonna do the whole gallon. You can cut it in half and do a half gallon of milk. And then of course you do half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter cup of lime juice. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do the whole thing. All right, so we got it on there, and I'm just gonna start stirring. So as we stir this milk, we want it to get to a boil, and that's gonna take a while because it's a gallon of milk and we're doing it medium-high heat. And I'm just gonna stir it occasionally. But while we do that, let me just share some of the benefits of yak cheese. They're full of calcium, lots of protein, because obviously it's just made from milk, low fat. The only fat that you're getting is the fat from the milk. But other than that, I think, if you've got a puppy that seems to be chewing on everything, these are a great alternative to make for them as a chew toy, a lot cleaner than a pig ear or cow ear or a beef trachea or anything like that that I've seen dogs come here with as their treats. These are also very low odor treats as well. The other thing that I like, as I was reading about making yak cheese, I told you the ones that you get in the store are really hard. And the good ones, now we've bought several brands, and you can get them for about $6 or $7 for a single yak chew, which is a great price. You might think, oh my gosh, but I mean, think about how long it's going to last. So you can get them for that much. But the really good ones, the ones that are going to really last, it's $30-40 for just a couple, like 2 in the package, maybe 3 in the package. And they're all really hard. What I haven't seen yet is, and this is what really interested me about making my own, was you can decide how hard or how soft. So if you have a dog who maybe is a little bit older and can't chew on the really tough things, or maybe they just don't like to chew on tough things, doesn't matter what their age is, you can make them even softer. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to stir this, and we'll come back. All right, our milk is boiling. Took us just over 20 minutes. We're gonna pour in our lime juice, half a cup of lime juice, and our teaspoon of salt. We're gonna set a timer for 2 minutes, and we're gonna let this continue to boil for 2 minutes. And we're gonna stir constantly. And as you can see, it's starting to separate there. So we're gonna do this for 2 minutes, and I don't know if you can tell in there or not, but it is starting to separate. All right, so in 2 minutes we'll come back. All right, so I have poured my mixture into my colander with my cheesecloth. I did add the cheesecloth back in. Got a little nervous as I was looking at the curds that were in the pot. I thought they were kind of small. Turns out that that's what was on top. So let me show you what we wound up with. So there's a bowl of just the leftover liquid. Don't know what we could have used that for, but then over here, you see we've got a whole colander full of curd. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wring this out and remove as much moisture as we can from it, and then put it between a couple plates and let it press for about 4 to 6 hours. All right, so now the last step before we bake is to put it in the cheesecloth, fold it over. I put it between a couple plates, and we're applying pressure. So I put some weights on there. You can use whatever you have in your house, canned goods, whatever. But we're gonna let it sit like that for 4 to 6 hours to press it into shape. Now, I hope mine works because I did something stupid. I mistakenly, while it was in the strainer in the cheesecloth, took a plate and pressed out all the liquid, which gave me really dry, crumbly curds, or cheese. So I'm hoping that mine will come together in a brick as we sit here and apply the pressure. I guess we'll see in about 4 to 6 hours, won't we? Okay, it's been 6 hours that our cheese has been on the plates, waited. The big reveal. Let's see what happens. As you recall, I put it in between the 2 plates, put those weights on there. But remember, I also feel like maybe I made a big mistake by squeezing all the moisture out. So, let's see. Did we get a brick? Oh, look. Not really, did we? All right, tell you what, let me plop this off the plate and let's see what we get. All right, so it's not real firm. There are some loose places, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and trim it up and see what we get. All right, so I trimmed away the rough edges, and I think what I'll do, I mean, it's not that bad. So I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and put those on the plate, on the tray as well, and cook them up and see what we get. But this, now I'm gonna go ahead and chop into thicker slices to bake. So overall, I actually think, not bad. If I hadn't squeezed all that extra moisture out, I think we'd have a little bit firmer. Like you can see, some of these are kind of suspect, but let's see what happens when we bake it. So we're gonna pop it in an oven now at 150 degrees for about 45 minutes. All right, so we got the cheese out of the oven, we let it dry overnight. Remember how I said, oh, I think I messed up and I squeezed out all that water? Yeah, I did. Because it made it not as dense and not as thick as the ones that you get in the store. So I gave my dog one this morning and he just chewed it right up like a cheese puff. It was crazy. So we're gonna try it again, not today, maybe next week, and I'll let you know how that goes. But definitely think that it was worth it. I mean, what did I have in a gallon of milk? A little bit of time, but I am pleased with the result, other than the fact that wasn't as thick and it didn't last as long as I'd hoped. So I'll show you what they look like. So there you have it, our yak cheese recipe for the very first time. Like I said, I'm gonna do it again because I think it's well worth it. Hey, if you give this recipe a try, let me know how it goes. If you have questions along the way on one of the steps, feel free to ping me, send me a message, call me from the website. The phone number's out there. Whatever you want to do, I don't care. And of course, stay tuned. You know, we've got other recipes we're going to try, other great dog treats. So we'd love to have you follow along with us, and make sure you either like or favorite our page here, wherever you happen to find this video. All right, have a good one. Thanks. Don't forget to head over to www.barkydoodle.com to check out our daycare and boarding rates and all of our dog-themed gifts.